Okay, this video is about what I would like to change in my favorite role-playing game setting, which is Werewolf the Apocalypse. I've already done a video where I talk about what I would like to change in the sense of the mechanics and the game itself, and I'm gonna link that into the description box, but this is purely about the setting, and this is a response to Andrew Wood of Wood WWAD, who did a similar video about Vampire the Masquerade and what he would like to change about that setting. So okay, my first thing is something that I would want to change from all of the White Wolf game lines, and that is I would like to separate them from each other. I like the theme of secret societies in all of these games, but when you have like Werewolf Secret Society, a Vampire Secret Society, a Mage Secret Society, a Demon Secret Society, a Changeling Secret Society, a Mummy Secret Society, a Hunter Secret Society, a Promethean Secret Society, a Ghost Secret Society, a Ghost Hunter Secret Society, and so on and so forth. The whole specialness and the flair of the fact that this is a supernatural secret society kind of goes out the window. And in the era of camera cell phones and in places like London where there's cameras in every street corner, you know, it really like loses its credibility. I would like to have all of the settings be, you know, their own entities, so that no vampire Camarillas or Sabbat exist in the werewolf setting, and no, you know, Glasswalkers and Red Talons and such exist in the vampire setting, and so on. The only exception would be Hunter, because that's the whole point of the game, actually, to hunt these people and to know all the information about them, and so on and so forth. The second thing is that I want to change from Werewolf the Apocalypse is something that makes me like Werewolf the Apocalypse less than Werewolf Dark Ages or Werewolf the Wild West, and that is the environmentalist theme. And you know, I vote often on environmentalist themes that are and issues that are put on the table, and I care about environmentalist issues. It's just that with Werewolf, it's a world that's been very strictly split into good and evil, you know, and a lot of people feel that it feels a lot like Captain Planet and the Planeteers when, you know, werewolves are the champions of Gaia and that sort of stuff. But the thing that makes it feel that like that even more is the fact that the evildoers are polluting the world, and they are polluting it just for evil's sake. They are just evil polluters who pollute and do evil because they are evil and that sort of thing. So, you know, I just really would want to remove that, or at least present it in a different way. Even though Pentex is awesome and I like evil corporations in a lot of like fantasy, modern sci-fi settings. And the eco-terrorism that the Black Spiral Dancers use is one of their biggest reasons that makes them a viable threat, that they are a huge threat, because they can just go to cairns and dump sludge there and they're basically taken over by worm spirits, by evil spirits. But I think you can come up with new stuff for Black Spiral Dancers. The whole evil theme is big enough of a theme without the environmentalist thing, really, in my opinion. So that's something I would change. A third thing that I would change is completely eradicate the near umbra. The near umbra makes, you know, werewolf into planescape. I've never been a fan of the planes in D&D, and I'm not a fan of the realms in werewolf. You know, the near umbra is where you go from the pen umbra, which is the reflection spirit world thingy, and through there you go into the near umbra, and there are all these realms that you can jump into. You can go to the realm of elements, and oh, let's go to the realm of Malfeas, let's go to the realm of evil, let's go to the realm of dreams, let's go to a realm of legend, let's go to the realm of this and that and this and that, and it's just, you know, it makes the werewolf setting, which is already a high fantasy setting for World of Darkness standards, into a super high fantasy setting with reality shifting and this dimension, you know, leaping stuff that, you know, totally takes it to a dimension, you know, quite literally, that I'm not a fan of. And then I would do something, the fourth change I would do is something that a lot of people might have gripe with, because I would totally destroy and take out the Glasswalker tribe. You know, the Black Spiral Dancers worship the worm, and therefore they are corrupted and they are twisted, they are evil and all that. Glasswalkers worship the Weaver. The Weaver is the main villain in the whole setting. You know, Worm, of course, is the one that comes at your face that you need to to punch, but it's like, you know, Worm is like the stormtroopers, you need to deal with them all the time, but, you know, Weaver is like the Emperor who sends them to you, because Weaver is the one who's insane, and therefore the balance between Worm and Wild is distraught, and Weaver is the one who's holding the Worm in its clutches, in its webs, and Weaver is the one who's gone insane, and still, you know, you have a werewolf tribe that worships Weaver totem spirits, who worship Weaver servants, who worship the Weaver, and who harness Weaver's powers into fetishes and that sort of stuff, and I just think that's dumb. And if you go for the excuse of, oh, well, they're using the enemy's, you know, influence against the enemy, you know, they are taking the enemy's power and using it against it, that's one of the cliches I hate the most. It's why I didn't like in the Green Lantern movie that Sinestro, let's forge a yellow power ring to fight the yellow power. What? You know, it's the same thing, so I would totally just remove them, and the urban element of the Glasswalkers could totally be replaced by any other tribe. There's no reason why get a Fenris or Black Furies or Fiannas or any other tribe would be like a businessman, you know, or something like that. It's not really that important in my eyes, and it's, you know, the Weaver worship thing is totally like, and also, you know, their fetishes, the Weaver fetishes are just so science fiction fantasy that it takes me, it's a huge contrast to the rest of the stuff. You know, I don't mind pattern spiders and all that Weaver technology when it's like running rampant and it's like this evil kind of element thing in the world, but when you have like werewolves who have like dream catchers and are dancing around a pyre like, hey ya, and then you have one guy who has like plasma guns and it's like, eat plasma, worm servants, and, you know, robot arms and robot, you know, whatever, you know, it doesn't fit in the rest of the thing, in my opinion. Plus, the worship of the main villain is dumb, I think. And then I would do my final change to the setting, and that would be that I would change the super friendship, magic friendship, solidarity that all the tribes have. You know, in ages past, the tribes have been slaughtering each other relentlessly and going to war with each other, and now, because the end times are near and they can see the red star in the sky, all of them all of a sudden come together in this solidarity, yay, friendship, and, you know, that sort of thing, and I don't find that very believable. I would want there to be a division between them. I would want there to be a group of werewolf tribes that have that solidarity and a group that do not. And for that group that have the solidarity, I would first resurrect the Stargazers. You know, they're not completely dead, but, you know, I would resurrect them and rejuvenate them to the level of all the other tribes. And, you know, they are very spiritual and these kind of Zen, you know, people, so they would fit well with that solidarity group and being like concerned about the end times and the red star in the sky and the umbra and that sort of stuff. But I would take 3 tribes into that cast that would not have the solidarity. First would be Red Talons, and I don't even view Red Talons to be good tribe for, you know, player characters, because they are basically the skinheads of the tribes. They despise and loathe and hate humanity, and they hate human-born werewolves because of that, and they refuse to go to cities and all these different things that, you know, it makes it very hard for a game master to have one player be like a Red Talon. And also, you know, it's, you know, why would you like to have like a one player character who hates all the other player characters and who refuses to go to cities and all these different things, and they dance to their own tune enough that I think they wouldn't have the solidarity with all the other tribes, and therefore they would be in the other camp. The second tribe in that camp would be the Shadow Lords, and, you know, even though everybody loves Shadow Lords, everybody loves them because they are those kind of shadow players who pull the strings behind the curtain, who really run things, you know, behind the scenes. But let me ask you, you know, if you're playing in a werewolf game and the GM introduces an NPC who's who's a Shadow Lord, are you not expecting that they have ulterior motives all the time? That they're not completely willing to step on others to further their own goals and their own ends? You know, they're untrustworthy and they serve their own ends in expense of others. You know, they totally wouldn't fit in that solidarity unless they're, you know, bullshitting, trying to further themselves, but why would anybody trust them? Because everybody knows that. And the third tribe in that kind of group would be the Wendigo, and I would just exemplify and make it bigger that the Wendigo are like, you know, amongst themselves, who that are like these, like live in this seclusion from other tribes, who would be extremely territorial and extremely like we can take care of ourselves, and if you come to our territory, we'll fucking kill your ass. That sort of thing. So that's basically what I would do. I would make those two camps into basically kind of like how there would be in Vampire, like Camarilla and the Independents, kind of. You know, in the same kind of flair, I would do it with Werewolf. So those are the things I would change. I would separate the settings from each other. I would, you know, take away the environmentalist angle. I would take away the near umbra. I would take away the glasswalkers, and I would split the tribes into these two divisions while resurrecting, you know, the stargazers. So yeah, there's my thoughts on what I would change about the Werewolf the Apocalypse setting.